Today we're here with Myra Para. She graduated from the University of Florida this past summer. She graduated with an undergrad in biology, and she's working on some classes right now at FGCU to apply to vet school. And she's also working as a vet assistant to get some of her hours done for vet school too. So today we're going to talk about something that might be overlooked in our culture. And by culture, I mean like Mexican or like Hispanic culture. Like sometimes we are expected to be strong. And if we are said to be sad, or we should get it of us. So today we're going to talk to Myra and her experience with depression. And let's just get started. How did you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay, well, like Anita said, I'm Myra Para. I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Biology from the University of Florida, so go Gators. Whatever. So I did 4 years at the University of Florida, working towards my bachelor's. While I was at UF, I volunteered at the Alachua County Humane Society, where I started gaining some of my hours, and where my interest in shelter medicine started, I want to say. I'm Mexican American. My parents were born in Mexico. I was born here in Florida. I speak Spanish and English, so that's great. That comes as a benefit for us. So I live in an Hispanic household, and we both grew up in this town, Immokalee, where it's a small town, so there wasn't much Immokalee had to offer us, but thankfully we were able to get in some programs that did help us along the way. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I have a dog named Joy, who I love. I love you, Joy. But
How did you first know? How did you first feel like something was off? Like, when did that first begin?
Like with when did I first started getting depressed?
Yes.
Well, I want to say that it started. I started to realize I was actually going through depression when I was in college. So when I was in college, I kind of looked back at high school and I was like, wait, was that me being depressed? So I think when I was in high school, I'm pretty sure I went through some depression stages as well. They just weren't as bad.
Noticeable?
Yes, as noticeable, thank you, as it was when I was at college. It started more like with me losing interest in the things I normally found exciting or interesting. So I didn't want to do my classwork. I didn't want to get up and go run stadiums or go to the gym. I didn't want to eat. I think I was just more like, I felt like I was just there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just somewhere where I didn't feel anything. I just felt empty. And I think that's when I started realizing, like, man, is this depression? Like, being in college, you hear more about depression and people going through it. And there's a lot more resources to help you. Like there's counseling wellness centers that you can go to, and you can go talk to them about it. And so that's what I did when I was at UF. I went to the counseling wellness center, and I spoke to a counselor. So I was going to sessions with them for, like, I want to say 2 semesters, and it was really helpful. So when I graduated, and like Anita said, I'm taking, I don't know if we mentioned this, but I'm taking classes at Florida Gulf Coast University to increase my chances of getting into vet school, because I'm just like you guys, I'm not perfect. I didn't do so well in my undergrad, so I'm retaking classes right now. Last semester I retook physics. This semester I'm retaking biochem. So just because seeing a counselor at UF helped me, I decided, well, I need to continue seeing a counselor, or else it might get bad again.
Yeah.
So once at FGCU, the first day of the semester, I actually called them and I'm like, hey, how can I set up an appointment to talk to one of your counselors?
Yeah.
And so that's how I got in. And last semester I was able to go ahead and speak to a counselor, and she was really, really helpful. She like gave me these like great insights and ideas of how to practice, how to better manage my anxiety and my depression. So that was really helpful. So if you guys have anything like that, definitely go to a counseling wellness center. No shame.
Let's go back to being at UF. How were you ever diagnosed with depression? Did you just said I'm depressed? Because I remember we talked about medications and how you said that's not an option for me.
Yeah, no. So medications was not ever an option for me, only because I don't like putting things in my body. Not that that's wrong. Like if there's people out there that need to take medications for depression, for anxiety, for any other mental illness or anything, there's nothing wrong with that. I just didn't feel like I was at the point where I needed medication. So, and neither did my counselor at UF. So we did talk about it, and when I decided to go speak to a counselor because I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And I felt like I really, really needed to talk to someone or else I was going to go insane. How do I say it? I did have some self-harm thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't like that. So I decided I need to go talk to a professional, and hear what they have to say. So when I did, and I was talking to her about how I felt, how I was feeling depressed, I was feeling sad. I didn't feel motivated to do my work. So instead of doing my work, I would just sit on my bed and I would watch Netflix. And after the episode ended, I would be like, should I start my homework now? And I'd really, really wanted to, but because I knew that I should.
Yeah.
I just couldn't make myself get out of that bed. I couldn't. And it wasn't that I was lazy, you guys. It wasn't laziness. It was just, I really felt unmotivated. And I felt like whatever I did, I was never going to be good enough. So my train of thought was more like, why bother?
Okay.
So I spoke about that to my counselor at UF. And she was like, okay, well, yeah. So it sounds like from what you were telling me, because I also told her that I have this issue where I couldn't do things on my own.
Okay.
I had to ask my roommate to come with me, even if it was just going to the grocery store. I'd be like, hey, can you come with me to the grocery store? I don't want to go alone. Sometimes she would go with me, and I'd be so grateful. Thank you. And there were other times where she couldn't go with me because she was busy. So I understand, But because she couldn't go with me, I wouldn't end up going. So it wasn't even a question of whether or not you can go on your own, you have a car, go by yourself.
Yeah.
No, my anxiety wouldn't let me do that. My anxiety would be like, if you go by yourself, this is going to happen to you. You're probably going to get in a car accident if you go by yourself, or you're probably going to get kidnapped or robbed or mugged or whatever.
Yeah.
So then my anxiety would be all up in my head, and I'd say, okay, you know what? No, I'm not going to go to the store. I don't have to go to the store today. So just making up excuses like that. The same thing with going to the library. I would ask my roommate, you want to go to the library? She'd say yes. There were times where she didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And so I would be like, okay, no biggie. I don't have to go to the library. So then there goes kind of that where I wouldn't want to go to the library by myself because my anxiety telling me things like, if you go by yourself, this was going to happen to you. All these bad thoughts coming into my head, you're probably going to get lost. And granted, I had been at UF for 4 years, so I wasn't going to get lost.
Yeah.
But my anxiety was just coming up with all these different excuses to hold me hostage in my room so that I wouldn't do these things. So then I wouldn't do them. And though my counselor explained it to me, she was the one who first told me about anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a word for what I had. I just thought I was scared or shy. I didn't know what I had. But then my counselor said, have you ever thought that you might have anxiety? And I was like, what? Anxiety?
Yeah. Me?
You know?
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, anxiety. And I'm like, like me being nervous. Is that what you mean by anxiety? And she said, yeah, like you have anxiety, like you're always anxious, or like you get nervous, or you feel like you can't do these things on your own, or like that you just get paranoid or something. And I'm like, that sounds like exactly what I have. I just never knew what it was called, or like I never thought of the word anxiety, because I mean, in high school, I don't even know if I even heard the word anxiety ever mentioned.
Okay.
So then I think, what was the high school counselor there for, except for helping me with scholarship and stuff? Could I ever talk to the counselor about this stuff in high school?
Yeah.
So when my wellness counselor at UF told me that I had anxiety, I was just like, oh shoot.
So do you think it was, did she said it was a combination of the two, anxiety and depression, or was it, you think it was just more of it just anxiety?
From when she told me, because I was telling her that I have depression, but I never told her I had anxiety.
Okay. So you self-diagnosed yourself with depression.
Yes, I self-diagnosed myself with depression, and she agreed. Mm-hmm. She was like, okay, yeah, because from what you're telling me, it does sound like you get depressed a lot. Okay. But then she's like, but did you ever think that
you could also have anxiety? Okay.
So then that's when she told me about anxiety, and I was like, oh, shoot.
How did you get better? What did you do? I know now you have Joy, and she's helped you a lot. So, talk a little bit about that. Like, how did you get better? Mm-hmm. And is it about getting better, or is it living with it? And even now, like, do you have some of the anxiety, and how do you deal with it? Does it ever go away? Do you have to retrain your mind, like rewire it? What are you, like, your hopes to deal with it?
I definitely still go through anxiety and depression. I feel like that's just something I'm always going to have to work on.
Okay.
Work with. Something I'm just going to have to constantly train my mind, which I have trained my mind thanks to the counselors that I've seen. They've given me some helpful suggestions, and I feel that I have gone better. From how I was at UF to how I am now, I have gone better. And it is a lot of thanks goes to my dog Joy. She's awesome. But I adopted her my junior year of college. So my freshman and sophomore year of college was pretty tough, because I didn't really have, like, my older sister was there with me.
Yeah.
But she had her own dog, and she had her own problems and everything going on, and we would help each other as much as we could. But you know how sometimes you just need something of your own.
Yeah.
So it was, those first 2 years were hard. First of all, first 2 years of college, it's hard. 4 hours away from home, you got to learn to do things on your own, and so it was just, Yeah. Then after getting Joy, my junior year, it was tough at first, because, always it adds more responsibility. It's a big change, and it adds more responsibility.
Yeah, as a college student, in addition to having a pet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it was a big change to where, like, I had to potty train her and everything, and yes, she would have accidents on the floor and on the carpet, and oh my gosh, but definitely worth it. I want to say that she is the only one who has ever been with me, like, through everything, through all my ups and downs. That pup has been with me through it all. She's probably like, my human is crazy. but I know she loves me and I love her. But yeah, she's someone that I can speak to. And you know how sometimes you just need to vent, but not have anyone talk back to you. Yeah. So that way is just great, where I can just tell her everything, just talk to her. And I, like, whether she's listening or not, sometimes she'll go ahead and she'll put her paws like this and go like, like, if she's listening. But she won't say anything. So it's just what I need. Like, I just need someone to listen and someone to be there. And so it's just nice, like, like falling asleep knowing that there's someone else there, and like I hear her breathing, and I'm just like, yes, here I have someone else with me. I'm not alone on this. So that really helps. And like I was talking to you earlier, it also helps to go outside and get some like fresh air and vitamin D. And if I didn't have joy, I probably wouldn't do that because I'm thinking she probably needs to go outside and go potty. And so I put her harness on, put her leash on, and we go outside. And while she's doing her business or sniffing around, whatever, like I'm able to get some fresh air and kind of clear my mind. And so that also helps me because when I'm earlier today, I was actually feeling really, really stressed.
Yeah.
And so I took Joy outside. We were outside going for a walk, and it helped like get rid of some of that stress. So I would say definitely having Joy around has been a big part in getting better for me.
So, like, you know, do you think in our culture there's like some denial about depression or anxiety?
Yes.
I know my
Definitely.
like one time I was calling my mom and like I was going through like a heartbreak and I was like crying and she got mad at me, but I don't think it was coming from a bad place. She just has this expectation that I should be strong, you know. So what do you think about that?
Well, I definitely think it's okay for you to cry after heartbreak. I also do agree with you that our culture does have some perspective or they have this mindset where they don't believe in depression
Yeah.
and they don't believe in anxiety. So I have spoken to my mom and my dad about my anxiety and my depression. And they see it as it's just all in your head. It's made up.
Yeah.
It's not real. Like, I don't know why you kids think that, I don't know why you kids are so sad or depressed, or I don't know why you guys want to hurt yourselves or all this stuff. Like, you guys didn't have it bad. You guys had a good childhood. Like, if you guys would have had my childhood, then that's different. Like, I had it worse or I had it harder than you guys. And then I'm just trying to say, hey, Mom, like, it sucks that your childhood was hard and everything. And yes, I did have a good childhood. But then as I was growing up and everything, there were some things in the household that weren't exactly worthy of a kid to see. Like, I shouldn't have seen some things that I have seen in my childhood.
Yeah.
Not everyone grows up in a household where there's, like, violence.
Yeah.
Remember? And so I feel like maybe that's part of the reason why I'm effed up.
You're not messed up.
But, so I've talked to her about it, and I've had my cousin talk to his mom and my mom about it too. And his mom also tells him, like, it's all in your head.
Yeah.
Like, it's not real. Like, you guys are just exaggerating. But it's like, no, we're not exaggerating. We really do feel this way. We really do get depressed. And like, even though we didn't go through what you guys went through, we still go through some hard shit in life. Yeah. It's like, we may not have had the worst life.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to have the worst life to get depression or get anxiety or anything like that. So I definitely feel like the Hispanic culture has a stigma of not believing that depression and anxiety is a real thing. And I feel like that's something we definitely need to work on.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't appreciate being told that the way I feel is not real.
It's wrong.
Yeah, that it's wrong for me to feel this way only because I didn't grow up a certain way or something. And it's I don't think that's fair for us either, because it makes us feel worse. It makes us feel like, well, I'm feeling depressed, and then they're telling me that I'm just exaggerating, so it's not important to them, so then it's stupid for me to feel this way, which is not true. We shouldn't feel like, how do I want to say it?
We shouldn't feel like we have to go through certain things for us to feel a certain way.
Yeah. So, and we shouldn't feel bad because we feel that way.
That's who we are. It makes who we are.
Exactly. Like, I know we don't want to be depressed. I know we don't want to have anxiety. But it happens. Mm-hmm. And people shouldn't call us out for that.
Exactly.
Basically. So that's basically what I was trying to say.
What would you say to somebody who's like going through depression? Somebody who cannot talk to their parents about it, who doesn't have somebody to talk to?
Yeah, that's definitely tough, because it is tough to find the right things to say to someone going through depression or anxiety. Like, I know when I talk to my friends about it,
I'm gonna get my charger because my laptop's gonna die.
They've had some. Did I continue talking?
Yeah.
Okay. They've had some trouble giving me feedback or telling me what I should do or what I shouldn't do, kind of. So I know it's definitely a hard thing to talk about when talking to others. But what I think I would say to someone who's going through depression, and what I have told people in the past who I know have gone through depression, is there's nothing wrong with crying sometimes. Like, I actually feel like crying helps. And if you need to cry. Because that freaking helps. It helps me, and I've seen it help others. Like, you know what? Just talk to me. Like, if you're feeling depressed, talk to me. Tell me why you're feeling depressed. Like, I won't judge you. I'm not going to judge you because I'm like, I can relate. Yeah, I've been there. I'm not going to judge you. Like, I'll try my best to understand you. And if you want my feedback, great. I'll try to give you feedback. Like, hey, listen, like, you can make it out from here. Like, I know you don't want to hear this right now, but how you're feeling is temporary. Like, I know you'll smile again. You'll eventually get to where you want to be. You're going to have to go through some depression, anxiety, and some bumps in the road to get there. But you will get there. As long as just keep trying and keep telling yourself that, yes, keep telling yourself, I got this. And that's not the end of the road, you know? So I feel like just comprehending, understanding, letting that person know that you're there for them and that you're trying your best to understand them and you're not going to judge them. I think that definitely helps.
Yeah. So if you ever need to talk to someone, I mean, we're not professionals, but you can go ahead and DM us. We can try to uplift you if that's what you need, hear you out. What message would you send to a parent who doesn't think depression and anxiety is real? If you can give that message both in Spanish and English,
that's
that would
what
be
I was
great.
going to do.
Okay, good.
Well, let's see. This is tough. I'm not trying to get yelled at. Let's see. To the parents out there who don't believe anxiety or depression or any other mental illness is, or emotional illness is real, I just want to say that it is real. That your kid may be going through it and you just don't know, because either you don't notice it or you choose to believe that they're just exaggerating. So I would encourage you to focus more on your children and notice signs of depression and anxiety, like whether or not they're just they don't want to tell you about their day, or they don't want to talk to you, or they just seem out of it, you know, just things like that. Definitely focus more on your kids and hear them out, because before you speak, just hear them out. And don't just automatically think that you know everything, because I'm sorry, but you do not know everything. So definitely sit down and have a talk with your kids. And you might be surprised what you find out, and just listen to them and don't judge them. Please, we don't like to be judged, okay? Especially by you guys, because we love you guys and we don't want to be judged by you. So, do you think that's good enough?
I think that's very nice.
Yeah. Now I remember everything it's saying in Spanish. Let's see. Bueno, para todos los papás allí que están viendo este video y que no creen que la depresión ni la ansiedad es de verdad, pues aquí te voy a decir que sí es de verdad, porque mucha gente en el mundo lo tiene y han tenido problemas por eso. Y les quiero decir que a lo mejor sus hijos también están pasando por un tiempo así, por depresión o por ansiedad. Y a lo mejor ustedes no lo han visto, solo porque ustedes no creen en eso, o porque piensan que están exagerando, o sabe qué, otra cosa. So, de veras pienso que ustedes, como los padres, tienen que hablar más con sus hijos y preguntarles qué es lo que está pasando con ustedes. Si ustedes ven que sus hijos no les quieren hablar o cambiaron de forma o algo similar, ustedes deben platicar con ellos y decirles, dime de tu día, cómo va todo, porque así también pueden saber si están pasando por un mal tiempo en la escuela o por la vida.
Y a veces creo que también los padres sabemos que en Imócale a veces no hay otra opción más que trabajar y no tenemos mucho tiempo para nuestros hijos, pero tan solo si tomamos 5 o 10 minutos para hablar con ellos en vez de regañarlos que por qué no has limpiado. Nosotros también tenemos responsabilidades, queremos hacer cosas, queremos ir al colegio. Entonces, tomar unos 5 o 10 minutos pueden hacer la gran diferencia en la vida de sus hijos.
Bien, sí, lo que ella dijo, sí, porque sí sé que en muchas partes sí hay que trabajar para mantener comida en la mesa y en la casa y todo eso, pero sí creo que al menos 5 minutos, 10 minutos, hablan con sus hijos y nomás escuchan. Antes de hablar, por favor, escúchanos. Y antes de juzgarlos, nomás dejan que te platiquen de cómo se sienten y no sin juzgarlos, por favor, porque a nosotros no les gusta que ustedes nos juzguen, porque a ustedes lo queremos mucho y son nuestros padres. So please, don't judge us. Y pongan atención a sus hijos más. Y como en vez de regañarlos, como dijo Anita, como danos motivación para hacer las cosas, como díganos, sí, hija o sí, hijo, estoy muy orgulloso de ti, porque tú sí le estás haciendo ganas, le estás echando ganas. Like, diciendo unas cosas así en vez de regañarnos o diciendo unas cosas como, ¿por qué andas chillando? ¿Por qué tú no tienes depresión? ¿Qué chingadas es eso? Something like that.
Yeah.
En vez de decir esas tonterías, mejor dinos que estamos siendo bien.
A veces creo que también muchos de nosotros como hijos nos esforzamos por impresionar a nuestros padres para que ellos estén orgullosos de nosotros y a veces en vez de motivarnos nos dicen, ¿por qué estás haciendo eso? ¿Por qué estás haciendo eso? Si ustedes vinieron a este país a mejorarse, creo que es justo que ustedes les motiven a sus hijos para que sean mejor. Entonces, si hay otra cosa, is there anything else you want to say?
No, nomás creo que es muy importante que no los juzguen, porque luego con eso ustedes son los que están haciendo a sus hijos, como le están dando depresión a sus hijos haciendo esas cosas. Nomás quiero decir que eso es muy, muy importante.
Ok, eso creo que es todo por hoy.
Yes.
Espero que les haya gustado y si ustedes están pasando por una situación, if you're going through a hard time, please feel free to reach out to both of us. I'll link our social media below and just know that things do get better and that it's temporary and that you can learn how to move on from that. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Myra also has a YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to hers. And stay tuned for more. I know I'm going to be throwing here different things, so if this is something you like, please feel free to reach out to me on social media. And thanks for opening up about this.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I hope that this video really helps someone or like helps multiple people. Anyone.
Parents.
Yeah, parents too. Parents as well as people our age in their 20s, whatever. It doesn't matter how old you are. We just really hope that this open talk about depression, anxiety can really help you guys to also talk about it because there's nothing wrong with it,
No. I mean, I don't know if I've ever gone through depression. I've been through periods where I've been sad, but I was able to manage,
Get through it. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Good for you. But yes, so subscribe to Anita's channel, and if you like what you saw today, great. If not,
I'll be having more videos how they're like maintaining like a long marriage, like 55 years. To me, that's impressive, and that's something I would want for myself. So if you're into that kind of thing, feel free to subscribe and stay tuned for more.
Yeah.
Bye.
Great.